Buckle up, because this is going to be a real good one.
Was Blake Lively's PR lawyers, the lawyers of the PR company, didn't want full access to what is discoverable between Blake Lively and other celebrities.
The wild claims coming from the set of It Ends With Us, which I am reliably informed is a movie. Is Taylor Swift to blame? What does she have to do?
Actress Blake Lively and her actor husband Ryan Reynolds want to keep their messages with seemingly their A-list friends out of the hands of the public.
Justin Baldoni is not paying his legal bills, which are
Hollywood's latest courtroom battle has escalated into an all-out war. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are determined to bring Justin Baldoni to financial ruin, pulling every trick in the book to push him toward bankruptcy. With millions on the line, the fight is getting dirtier by the day. Shady PR tactics, high-stakes legal maneuvers, and unexpected twists. This isn't just about the law anymore. Even Taylor Swift has been caught in the same crossfire as bombshell evidence surfaces, intensifying the feud. Legal teams are clashing, reputations are at risk, and the thirst for power and revenge is driving this battle to dangerous extremes. Who's lying? Who's winning? And when the dust settles, who will be left in ruins?
This gets overused now, but she did FAFO. Like, she thought she could blame all of her negative press on him. He's a weakling. She's Blake Lively with Ryan Reynolds, her dragon. And she decided, I can't take 1 month worth of negative press, which she got, generated, she says, by him. He says, by you and your badness. And she's so thin-skinned, look what happens to you. Look what happened to poor Jay Cal even on this show. People get picked on when they're in the public eye. Right? Like, look at just Google Megyn Kelly, you'll see terrible articles about me. It's part of being in the public eye. She's just used to being Hollywood's golden girl, and she had such thin skin that after having a couple negative things happen to her for a month, she had to blame him. She decided to blame him, and boy, did she open up a hornet's nest and learn, be careful what you wish for, because now you've got the fight you asked for, and you're not winning.
The ongoing feud between Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Baldoni has erupted into a full-scale legal and financial war. With accusations flying and reputations hanging by a thread, what started as a dispute over It Ends With Us has spiraled into a high-stakes battle of power, influence, and potential financial destruction. Sources close to the case reveal that Lively and Reynolds are pulling out all the stops to push Baldoni toward bankruptcy, leveraging every legal and PR strategy at their disposal. As tensions mount, this fight is no longer just about a film. It's about control, dominance, and survival.
Today, Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni's legal teams met in court to discuss a proposed protective order marking the latest chapter in their explosive legal feud. And the hearing comes after months of back and forth accusations, leaked evidence, a public relations war that has certainly captivated Hollywood, and I would say a lot of us here on social media, and online, and everywhere. Now, really quick refresher about what we're talking about here. So we have Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. They starred in It Ends With Us, a film based on a book of the same name. And after filming had wrapped and the premiere had happened, Lively filed a complaint with the California Civil Rights Department saying that Baldoni and others within his company, Wayfarer Studios, made her uncomfortable on set, that she was harassed, and that Baldoni even sexually harassed her. And she alleges that she tried to voice her concerns, but then they turned around and retaliated against her, and then used a PR and digital team to trash her in the press and on social media. And the whole thing was written up for a piece in the New York Times, who Baldoni then sued, saying that they had trusted Lively's side of the story as fact, and had barely reached out to him or his team for comment, and even didn't do the proper due diligence and didn't provide context to the full story. This again, all according to him.
The center of the dispute is Blake Lively's claim that Justin Baldoni, a key figure in the production of It Ends With Us, engaged in misconduct that harmed her career. However, Baldoni and his legal team have fiercely pushed back, arguing that Lively's accusations are not only baseless, but also part of a larger, calculated effort to manipulate the industry narrative.
Say, look, celebrities are subject to the same standards as everybody else. So just because they're celebrities doesn't mean they get to hide their texts.
Yeah, if I have to turn my text over in a case and why shouldn't these A-listers who are text messaging back and forth with Ryan Reynolds or with Blake Lively, and I think the interesting thing here too is, what if they're an A-lister and they're talking about this case,
Right.
and they're talking about things that are relevant to this case? Essentially, under Blake Lively's position, they can preclude turning over those texts, which would be very interesting for the other side to see to evaluate the case. So that could be a problem going forward.
Yeah, and it's kind of an ironic argument for the Lively side, I suppose, because they had no problem disclosing tons of texts. I didn't say that right.
That's what Texas. Yeah, that's okay. That's all right.
Multiple texts
Yes.
between Nathan and Abel.
Right.
And so the PR people for Baldoni. And so their complaint is riddled with texts.
If you remember that our jury pool are people that keep us honest here with their comments and their questions. They actually have been asking, why doesn't Baldoni take the same tack and ask for all of her text messages? And so
It's coming.
what you're seeing here is what's good for the goose is good for the ganders.
Adding to the intensity of the battle is the involvement of Taylor Swift, one of Blake Lively's closest friends. Reports suggest that Swift has been working behind the scenes to shape public perception, using her massive influence to rally support for Lively. This has only escalated tensions, with Baldoni supporters accusing Lively and Swift of exploiting their celebrity status to manipulate media coverage in their favor.
Blake Heard is worried about some texts getting out there between her and her high-profile friends. And not just Taylor Swift, there are many other players involved for her and her husband, because Ryan Reynolds is also named in this lawsuit. Taylor Swift, but also Hugh Jackman, Emily Blunt, Gigi Hadid, a lot of A-listers and B-listers. And a lawyer for Team Delulu says there is a significant chance of irreparable harm if marginal conversations with high-profile individuals with no relevance to the case were to fall into wrong hands. Well, I would argue, and so would his lawyer, I think, that Taylor Swift's communications with her former dragon keeper are of high interest and relevancy to this case.
Ryan Reynolds has also become deeply involved in the dispute, allegedly using his industry connections to sway key players in the case. Some insiders claim that Reynolds has taken an aggressive approach against Baldoni, working behind the scenes to isolate him within Hollywood and damage his professional standing.
Ryan was embroiled in the countersuit, with Justin accusing him of swearing and berating him in an aggressive tirade at a meeting at their New York penthouse, where it looks like Blake's wife was present to discuss Justin's conduct. He also claims that Ryan had tried to interfere with the movie script and force out the editors and the composer that he had hired in favor of professionals who had previously worked with him. Now, there are plenty of reactions on social media. Starlight writes, "When it comes to being in the public eye, there's a fine line between love and disrespect. I think it's more difficult to get that respect back once you've lost it than it is to get it in the first place." Another person writes, "Agreed, divorce will be next, and it'll be revealed that Blake is frustrated with Ryan just taking out her troubles on Justin." I think it's interesting because these two got together in a sketchy way. I believe on Green Lantern, Ryan was cheating on Scarlett Johansson with Blake Lively, which, quite a choice there. One person likes, I always like Brian Reynolds, but with all this drama, I'm seeing him so much differently. He tries to come across as easygoing, funny, and a regular guy, and Blake is definitely not any of those things.